Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Established Run's NBA Injury Report Analysis Show. I'm Drew Dinkmeyer here with Mike Gallagher to walk you through Thursday, April 17th, 7-game slate, last 4 days of the NBA regular season, and it will be a little bit of a sprint with a lot of basketball in these last 4 days. Saturday is the light day, if you're looking for a light day. Sunday, if you don't have to do anything with the NBA on Sunday, I recommend not doing anything with the NBA on Sunday. I would love to be able to not do anything with the NBA on Sunday, but unfortunately, it is my job. So I'm not looking forward to that Sunday schedule, which keeps moving around. I was thinking the games had moved earlier. Last year, the games were like 1 o'clock Eastern time. This year, they're like 3:30 Eastern time. And so it's like a different type of slate. But Mike, how are you doing on this Thursday? Opening day of the Masters, opening day of MLB. 4 days left of the NBA regular season. Quite the sports time.
Yeah, you and I are deep in the content game today. Just to the pod, you went on a rant. We got this. We got the DFS show.
Yep.
We got the Underdog Best Ball show with some heavy hitters. Overs at Fan, Pete Jennings, CSU Ram 88's on there. It's gonna be really dope. And I got a radio spot with the You Better You Bet guys. So I got 6 things of content today, man. It's
a big day of content.
Yeah, I love it though. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I might. I mean, honestly, I might. Opening day
every day. Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to get the NBA regular season to end a week earlier. That's what I need. I need the Masters. I've never had the Masters. The Masters, because I used to do baseball content too. It used to be I couldn't even pay attention at all because I was doing baseball and basketball at the same time. Now just doing basketball, it's so hectic at the end of the season with injuries and new players and different things that I still don't get to enjoy it as much. I would like 1 year to just sit and just watch the golf. That's what I'd like for 1 year. It will not be this year, though. Yeah. So let's get into the injury stuff today. I think what we should continue to do, with each of these slates, is continue to highlight which teams have things to play for and which teams do not. So let's start with the motivation side of things. Teams that want a win, and we are sure they want a win. You have at the top of your list the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm not so sure.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
So
I think it's because let me explain myself. I think you want to really try to thread the needle and try to beat a 3, especially now that we know Boston's probably punting. So I think getting this win today and trying to get that 3 seed is a really big deal for them. I don't think they want to go to Toronto, man. I know we just talked about in the pod that we don't think Matisse Thybulle is a big deal, but I think it is. I think that taking a rotation piece that you would have starting in a playoff game adds a level of losing chemistry, adds a level of playing guys that you may not want to play, like Shake Milton, etc. So there's a trickle down. So I think they want to win this game pretty badly.
It gives you the risk of getting the 2, though.
Yeah, the risk. Well, I think you'd cross that bridge when you get to it. I think you take this here and then because Boston or the Celtics are going to win today. One of them has to. So I think you could kind of wiggle yourself in and thread the needle that way.
Possibly. Yeah. Who does Philly close with after? So they have 3 games left. They still have Toronto. I think it's like Houston. No, it's Indiana and Detroit. It's going to be tough to lose games to Indiana and Detroit.
Yeah, it is.
So that's my thought process. Is if Boston loses tonight, Philadelphia wins out, but loses tonight. Philadelphia is the 3.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not so sure Philadelphia wants to win.
Maybe they try to out-tank the tankers,
I mean, good luck with Indiana and Detroit. But that's my only not so sure they want to win tonight. But we'll see. Okay. Teams that I do feel
I think honestly, I think a part of them wants Brooklyn, man.
I do not think so.
I don't know. I said a part of me. I mean, the Harden thing. I think that they'd be comfortable with that series.
I don't.
Embiid is I don't know.
I think Harden does. I don't think Embiid does.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Embiid if they lose to Brooklyn when Ben Simmons is just sitting on the bench waving?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Embiid would take that very well.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Okay, teams that
so maybe they should be in the probably wants to win pile.
I think they're in the could use a win. So the teams that I think are guaranteed to want to win tonight, Charlotte's still playing for playoff positioning in the Eastern play-in situation. They could still get as high as the 8th seed, I believe. So they still want to win.
For sure.
They can help their chances substantially. The Nuggets magic number to lock up the 6th seed is 1. So they need 1 win or 1 Timberwolves loss. Getting a Timberwolves loss is going to be kind of tricky. The Timberwolves close with a really soft schedule here. The Timberwolves also on the slate. They want to win. They're getting a Spurs team that is without DeJounte Murray, and the Spurs now have nothing to play for.
That's not true.
A home game?
They're playing for the home game in the 9-10. I think that matters.
Maybe. Or DeJounte Murray's got this like crazy mysterious illness. I mean, the fact that they're ruling DeJounte out so early suggests to me that they're not really caring.
I mean, he's been sick. He lost 7-8 pounds over the weekend. I think it's a legit tag.
Yeah.
I think they want this home game.
I'm questionable on whether the Spurs and Pels care. Pels ruled Brandon Ingram out. So but Joe Johnson said he'll play. I think the Pels, like, they're going up against Portland. I don't think it even matters if they want to win. They just, like, you go against Portland, you win. Doesn't matter if you want to win. Ask Sam Presti. And then the Warriors say they don't care if they get the 3 or 4 seed. They just are playing for home court advantage. They've pretty much got home court advantage locked up. It's just we think the 3 is much preferable to the 4. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But they're playing the Lakers tonight. And the Lakers will be very interesting to talk about on the injury stuff as well. The Lakers have no team motivation stuff, but LeBron might have some individual motivation stuff.
Yep.
So we'll focus on that. Teams that could theoretically maybe care about winning. The Bucks, they're playing Boston, who just announced that they're going to rest some guys. Again, threading the needle on this, trying to get the 3 seed is really, really tricky. And Milwaukee's closing schedule is pretty soft too. So I think Milwaukee, maybe. The Celtics, I don't know. I think they're just taking the rest spot. It was only Tatum who's been a little bit banged up, and Horford that were listed so far, but they did not play a lot of minutes last night against Chicago. They destroyed Chicago. Shout out to Chicago for once again being terrible. The Raptors, I think they still need one more win or Chicago loss to clinch the 5, but Chicago's closing schedule is pretty tough. So I think Toronto's going to play it like a playoff game because that's the only way Nick Nurse knows how to do stuff. But but I don't think their motivations are like crazy. And then teams with nothing to play for, Grizzlies, Lakers, nothing from a team perspective. They can't do anything. Their pick is gone, so they can't do anything to improve odds there. And then the incentive to lose tag is Orlando and Portland, of course. Portland has done an exceptional job climbing these standings over the course of the last month. It's
really impressive.
Really been impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Neil O'Shea. Neil O'Shea didn't. It's mad props. I mean, they went like full on tank. We're gonna get the best pick we can with a new regime in there. It's the way to do it, man. Losing 8 in a row, and I mean the teams. I mean, you talk about an impressive losing streak, man. I mean, they have lost to some really, really crappy teams. Man. It's impressive. I mean, like to lose to OKC twice, one in overtime, Houston twice, Indiana. I mean, that is just impressive losing right there. Like Sam Hinkie must be just making a poster of this L.
Yeah, that's a tough stretch to get through. 3 San Antonio, 2 Houston, 2 OKC. That's a tough stretch to get through winless. But Detroit did get him.
Yeah,
Detroit did get him. So
Detroit's screwing up though.
They've been terrible
right now.
Matt Preston asking Nuggets motivation. We have them in the wants to win big time category. They need one win or Denver just wants to avoid the 7. That Denver can't really get the 5 realistically. Denver just wants to avoid the 7, and to do that they need 1 win or 1 Minnesota loss. But Minnesota closes the season with very soft schedule. So I think basically the Nuggets play the Grizzlies tonight. They're 4.5-point favorites. And then they close with the Lakers at home.
Here's the scenarios for today to spell it out real clearly in a graphic.
Yep. So there you have it. Basically, Boston, because they have the tiebreaker on Philly, can win with a win and a Philly loss. Denver clinches a playoff spot with a win or a Minnesota loss. Miami clinches the best record in the East with losses by Boston and Philadelphia. Miami not on the schedule tonight. They just need one more win to do that also, which they can get tomorrow. And then Minnesota is locked into a play-in game with a loss or a Denver win. And they would be locked into the 7. They can't move below 7. So, okay. I think we've covered that. Let's get into the injury stuff. Let's start with the Lakers. Westbrook unlikely to play is the report, according to Underdog. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are questionable. I would not be surprised to see AD sit and LeBron play.
Yup.
And if LeBron is playing, there's only one reason LeBron is playing. To win the scoring title. And so we might be in like the old, the Kobe final game narrative type situation where LeBron is just taking 30, 40 shots tonight if he's out there. So he needs 2 games to qualify for the scoring lead. So he has to play both of these final games, or he has to have outscored Embiid by so many points that even if you take a game away, he'd still be the leader. That's not going to happen unless he goes for like 100 tonight or something like that. So you can see there he's 0.1 of a point behind Joel. He's got to play the last 2 games. He's going to be gunning if he plays. If he's not playing tonight, I don't think he's playing the final game. I think it's like pretty clear. He's truly hurt, and he's just like, I don't care about the scoring title. Like my legacy is my legacy, whatever. So that's that. Basically, if LeBron plays tonight, play him in DFS.
Yes. Look at you going into a Lakers narrative this time.
I mean, look, I am highly tuned into what individuals.
We just get it. We got it here. LeBron, Davis, and Westbrook are all out against Golden State tonight.
Okay, so that's it. That's all, folks.
Yeah, that's it.
Underdog Fantasy has said. LeBron's not going for the scoring title.
Nope.
And
this affects Embiid a little bit, right? Because he doesn't have the pressure anymore.
Probably. I mean, Giannis is pretty close, but probably. You could also theoretically say it should impact the Nuggets a bit, but I think the Nuggets they want to try to take care of business as quickly as possible. So I really don't think it's going to matter for the Nuggets. Yeah. But you could say that like the Nuggets are reading the tea leaves that LeBron's not going to play a final road game of the season in Denver. Like, why would he do that? So I think Denver's still going to play their main guys like a playoff game tonight.
Yeah. Here's the Anthony Davis "That's All Folks" T-shirt that he wore when he wrapped up at the Pelicans. I mean, what a great shade to throw out from the Pelicans Twitter, man. That was truly
it's amazing. Epic. Just amazing.
Okay. And shout out to Underdog, the "That's All Folks."
Yeah. So we got that information, which is great. We'll update the projections there. From a DFS perspective, you're just going to have a lot of value and a lot of opportunity tonight. You're going to have, I got to think they're going to give Talen Horton-Tucker the reins. Like what do they have to play Avery Bradley and Stanley Johnson? Like just play Talen Horton-Tucker, play Austin Reeves, play Malik Monk, play Wenyen Gabriel. Like just play these young guys. Like you don't need to play DJ Augustin heavy minutes or Avery Bradley. So I think you're going to get a big debut by these guys, but going up against a Warriors team that's going to have their full complement, you're going to need the heavy minutes to get the kind of volume to have a really, really big performance. And as we saw last night with a team like Phoenix, right? And Phoenix has played well without their main guys most of the season. But when you have a team that has nothing to play for and it's all the reserves playing against a team that still is trying to like play for things, it can go bad. And it went real bad with Phoenix last night. So I don't think it's clear cut that this is like absolutely going to go great for the Lakers, but there's so much room for it to go well that you will be taking shots on that. Just be aware, we'll talk about in the DFS show, how outsized the ownership gets, because this news has all come out to a level that people will be able to process it in playoff optimizers and whatnot. Okay, Pels. Ingram doubtful. Joe Val says he's back and he's playing tonight. Matchup with Portland. So fairly soft matchup on the whole.
Yep.
You allude to the Pels probably playing for home court advantage here in that play-in game. What are your thoughts on how Ingram impacts the playing time and the minutes distribution for the Pels?
Yeah, so we've seen a little bit of Najee Marshall. We see some Snell. We see some Trey Murphy, who I think is a great spot. Trey Murphy probably gets garbage time too. I mean, the Blazers are just going to get wrecked here. TJ McCollum revenge game. I got the game up when he went to Portland. I think he had like 14 in the first quarter or something. He only finished with 25 because of garbage time. But Jackson Hayes will get pretty good minutes here. Taking away Ingram's minutes, taking away his not just his usage, but his minutes are going to really up Jackson Hayes. Herb Jones' minutes should be really secure. Valanciunas probably not playing full go, right? This is an injury he's been playing through. And he'll probably be they actually played 3 games in 4 nights. So they play tonight and then they play Saturday, Sunday to close. Yep. So I expect Valanciunas to sit one of those, getting ahead of myself there. But Alvarado as well. We've seen Alvarado's minutes really tick up when the Ingram games go away. So he'll also play against a really, really, really bad second unit. So a lot of really good value here in this game with Ingram kind of being I imagine it's not priced in either.
Devontae Graham or Najee Marshall in the starting lineup, right?
Yep, should be Graham.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of buried the lead on that one.
Yeah, so Graham benefits as well. There will obviously be some value there, but as Mike alluded to, with the heavy schedule coming forward for the Pelicans and the fact that, some of these guys haven't had a chance to rest too much. Like CJ had a little bit of time off. Ingram had a little bit of time off. Jonas hasn't really had that much time off. In the center depth that they have with Nance and Hernan Gomez and Jackson Hayes, I would guess that Joval ends up tonight closer to like 28 than the 34, 35 we've been seeing of late. So just be aware. Probably, can still be really efficient, but be aware. I don't think you're getting the 34, 35s unless Portland hangs around, and Portland's a 16-point underdog tonight on the road. So
too late. And the Bucks just filed an injury report on their Twitter, and I was like, I thought they would have countered with the Boston guys, but it's the same.
Matisse Thybulle is out for Philadelphia. I assume Danny Green picks up the starting nod here, and then the minutes are kind of shared in the absence. Shake Milton probably benefits. George Niang probably benefits. My boy Handsome Niang. Danny Green definitely benefits. Furkan Korkmaz or Isaiah Joe probably get back into the rotation and play a little bit. What are your thoughts here on how Tybulle's absence impacts things?
I wouldn't be surprised if Niang starts. I mean, you're going against the Raptors.
Yeah, the Raptors size.
If OG goes,
but it's Danny Green ring night.
Yeah, true. Okay. So
this is from the Raptors title. This is 3 titles ago. Danny Green is getting a ring for.
Yeah, but we see. I think that makes sense. But then you get the Danny Green check-in cheer on. So they do have that, and they played Niang pretty good minutes against the Raptors earlier this year. He got 29 against them on the 30th. And there's another game he played. So I think Niang's kind of sneaky beneficiary. There's going to be so much value on the slate, though, that you probably don't have to go there. Yeah. But, I would expect Niang to kind of be a little bit sneaky in the spot.
Korkmaz or Joe, who do you think is ahead there to potentially get in the rotation?
I think Korkmaz, especially with the size factor. I think you want to get a little bit bigger body out there.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, questionable tags. The Magic. Gary Harris is questionable, but who else are they actually going to play tonight? What are your thoughts on what the Magic look like tonight as they close out the season limping to the finish line?
Yeah, they are not going to have Cole Anthony. They are not going to have Wendell Carter Jr. They're not going to have Franz Wagner. So that's a big chunk, 3/5 of their starting lineup. So we're probably going to see Markelle Fultz start again. And Markelle got up to 24 minutes here. He'll probably see a lot of Rozier. Yeah. And, ticking him up to 24 is a big number. And there's been talk of upping him even more. So fast-paced game, that's right up his alley, right? So I think Fultz could be a possible guy. Mo Bamba goes ham here in the last game. He's been excellent in kind of spots. Better matchup, right, against the Hornets. Hornets are kind of vulnerable inside sometimes. Chuma Okeke can play a bunch of minutes here. Bristakis will start and get a bunch of runs.
I guess the question is, will these guys be allowed to play a bunch of minutes like they were against Cleveland last time and they won?
Yeah, and if Gary Harris doesn't play, they don't really have the. I mean, I think Bristakis is safe, right?
They have. So the starting lineup is going to be Fultz, we assume, Suggs, right?
Yep.
Bamba, Okeke, and who
should
am I
be Bristakis.
And Bristakis, right? And then the backups will be Robin Lopez, Mo Wagner, RJ Hampton, Devin Kennedy, and they still have Terrence Ross if they wanted. Yeah, they still have 10 guys. So they can still play 10 deep if they want to. My concern is just after winning last game, like that that these upper 20s.
That LaMelo picks up 3 fouls in the first minute and the
like,
Magic make a run. Yeah.
That's my concern with Orlando. Is just like, oops, we won. Can't afford to have that happen again.
So I think to your point, the concern would be Bamba, right? Because they got Lopez, they've got Mo Wagner. But I mean, Bristakis, come on. I mean, who's taking his minutes?
No. Bristakis is not. Bristakis is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My concern.
I think
Bamba
Chuma's same thing. I think Chuma's same thing. I mean, he hasn't really been to be cut down. But
my concern is those guys because those guys have been managed in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, Suggs is going to be on minutes cap again, so he's not playing anyways. So like maybe Kennedy cuts down Fultz, but I still think Fultz gets to like 24. I think Fultz.
I think Fultz will be fine. Bamba, Keki are the guys for me that I'd be concerned about a little bit.
Okay.
And then RJ Hampton in the bench role, now that he's separated from Fultz and Cole Anthony, he's playing point guard. The rates ticked up a bunch last game. So like he's a guy that they've let play in blowouts quite a bit. So he's actually kind of sneaky interesting on the slate to me.
Yeah, I'll add it'll be he's going to be tied to Suggs' minutes cap. So if Suggs has like a 24 cap, that probably takes him off the board because I think they're just going to kind of stack each other up and fill that position.
Yeah. Okay. Other injury situations. Brandon Williams for Portland, he's questionable. They've been resting him, sitting him. What are your thoughts on his availability tonight? Now that impacts things. Keon Johnson's been playing pretty well lately from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, they've been playing Keon a lot of minutes. They started Chris Dunn. They're probably going to start him again. I would expect this to be the same lineup. And they've got depth now. Now that they got DZ putting the Luz and Luzada back in the mix. They've got a backup for Drew Eubanks with Reggie Perry there. They got a solid rotation now. So we're not going to see too many outrageous minutes. Like you said, Keon Johnson is really the only piece that has value to them, I feel like, going forward. Now that some of pretty much the rest of the team is like injured. But
DD Luzada, aka Marcos Silva, also, if you're unaware on like search distinctions and whatnot, DD Luzada's got a lot of names. He's a man with many names. I was very confused for like 3 minutes earlier today when I was like, we don't have this Marcos Silva guy anywhere. Where is he popping? Like while I was doing StatMuse searches. And then I was like, wait, there's no DD Luzada here. And then I was like, wait, DD Luzada is Marcos Silva. Yeah. Silva is Luzada.
Louis Einhorn. Yep. So yeah, I think we kind of nailed it. But yeah, I think Keon's minutes to be really good. Little concern on Dunn's minutes for the big loser. No offense, he's obviously a great player, but Hughes is not an issue. Eubanks, we'll see. And just with Brandon Williams, you could make a case that Brandon Ingram being doubtful maybe makes it less likely that he plays, right? To tank.
I would think so.
So yeah. Oh, James Johnson just got waived by the Nets. Wonder what they got cooking.
That means they're giving Kessler Edwards a playoff spot.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
There'd been talk about that, and I guess that's the decision that they came to, which good for Kessler Edwards. Okay, Lonnie Walker is questionable for San Antonio. No DeJounte Murray again. I think I just think San Antonio is not going to push guys. I think like getting into the playoffs is great for them, and they're kind of happy with that. And I feel like New Orleans isn't a place that has a huge home court advantage anyway. So like we'll see on Lonnie. I don't think they're natural. I don't think they're like tanking or anything like that, San Antonio.
Yeah.
I just think that they're not going to treat these games like playoff games, meaning guys that are questionable would play through anything. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah. So I think the guy I'd be concerned about would be Pirtle, right?
Yeah.
I think you'd agree. Because they have depth there. Now they've got Jock Landale's off the injury report. Obviously, Zach Collins is playing more minutes, so got major concerns on his ceiling. Keldon's been good. Keldon's minutes, on top of just playing well, minutes have been fairly consistent when games are close, but a little bit more concern. I think Lonnie is a maintenance thing. He's had a back injury before. I think Trey Jones is ready to rock here. Up-tempo game. Wolves defense has really slipped lately. He's been really good whenever he spot starts, so he's certainly going to be in play. I assume his price has gone up since last time. So definitely another, taking Lonnie out too would potentially really add a lot of usage for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would also help Josh Richardson, Devin Vassell, those wings as well, both for minutes and playing time. Jeff Green, questionable for the Nuggets. He's missed the last few games, been kind of in and out, personal stuff. Any inkling on whether we see Jeff Green back tonight?
No, I don't know. Can't really read the personal stuff. It is a home game for whatever that's worth. But Yeah, I mean, we know they just go a little bit smaller. Man, Jokic getting huge minutes in the last game, and just what a terrible, terrible loss.
They were so bad.
It was one of their worst games. That and the OKC game were probably their two worst losses of the season.
And the losses that are going to keep them out of the 5 seed and potentially keep Jokic out of the MVP conversation with people that are very focused on seeding and wins and stuff, which is too bad. We'll see how that ends up playing out. Other questionable tags: Dillon Brooks and Jarrett Culver for Memphis. This is a game against Denver. Brooks sat out the last game. They played into an overtime game. Culver's not really in the rotation, so I don't think that's really as big of a one. But if Brooks is out, he could play. What are your thoughts on Dillon Brooks' availability tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they play tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they don't. So we did miss this with the last game. I don't know, but probably game time. Probably not getting this news before lock. But if he doesn't start, we'll see Zaire Williams play a bunch. The usual 10-man rotation. They did go with Tillman, somewhat surprisingly. I guess not considering the matchup against Utah. But they would probably go that route again against Joker. So it should be a pretty similar rotation if he doesn't go.
Yeah. Patrick Beverley and Jay McDaniels, questionable for Minnesota. Thoughts on their availability tonight? I think Minnesota's in a spot where they're kind of like San Antonio. Clearly, they have a lot of motivation to win, right? Because they want to get into the play. They want to avoid the play-in. But the odds are so slim because they have to win out and Denver has to lose out that I don't necessarily think they're going to push like Beverly. So I think it's going to be a true, like, if he's healthy, he'll play. If he's not, he's not type situation. But what are your thoughts on him and McDaniels? The comments from Chris Finch on McDaniels sounded like he came out of last game pretty good, and I'd expect him to play tonight.
Yeah, had a 15 cap on him the last game. We know the Wolves will put Q tags on guys returning from injury, so should treat that one like a probable. Obviously, Beasley came back. He's been fine. Don't think they need Beverly. I think they may just be sitting him out. Beverly did not play in the last game, so would expect him to be more likely to sit, I guess, but I don't have a good read on it. So we'll see.
And then doubtful tags, Gordon Hayward, doubtful again, unfortunately, foot soreness. It comes right back and immediately on the injury report. Not a good sign for Gordon Hayward, who has struggled to stay healthy since that terrible ankle injury, or leg injury, I guess you would say. What are your thoughts on how the Hornets look tonight in the absence of Gordon Hayward? We've seen a lot of them without Gordon Hayward this year.
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, it's how much of the Magic in the tank here? They should have this game, right? Like at home against the Magic. So you would.
They should. The thing that I'll note there is obviously this game got away from them in the fourth quarter. They got outscored by 24 points in the fourth quarter, but pretty heavy minutes for most of these guys in a game they lost by 30.
Yeah.
So
it should be pretty solid
without Gordon Hayward. So you should have pretty hefty minutes situations here for the Hornets guys.
Yeah, and I'll add Wendell Carter Jr. is very valuable on defense. Taking him off the court, the Magic really suffer defensively. So pretty good spot, but definitely got to worry about garbage time. Don't think Cody Martin is quite as valuable here. They really like him against guards and those dudes. So we may see a little bit more Oubre, maybe see a little bit more McDaniels. But you're not going to the bench guys in what should be a garbage time filled game. Shout
out to Kelly Oubre for still coming in under with the mysterious Hayward injury that we weren't aware of. Did not work out so well last night for us with Obi Toppin. The Mitch Robb, that's like the fourth time this year that he has been ruled out right before a game when not on the injury report with non-disclosed COVID illness.
Yeah, and he had a back thing too that popped up in a back-to-back.
But they've all been like non-COVID illnesses. Like, what's going on? What's going on with Mitch?
Take your vitamins.
Take your vitamins,
water.
Mitchie.
Yeah.
The Flintstones ones, they're great. Okay. The Celtics, no Jason Tatum, no Al Horford. Are you concerned? Marcus Smart's probable. Are you concerned that Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, those guys are managed? We did not see that in the game against Toronto when they rested guys, right? Like, they played Marcus Smart very full minutes against Toronto. So what are your thoughts tonight on this situation back to back?
Yeah, I got concerns for Jaylen. He did rest that game.
Yep.
He was listed as probable yesterday. So I've got concerns he pops up with an injury report. So the starting lineup, assuming no funny business, should be Smart, White, Jaylen, Grant, Steele, aka Daniel Tice. And then the rotation should look pretty similar here with Nesmith basically being in Hauser's spot, a little bit more of Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett will be backing up Tice. Tice played huge minutes. Tice is a terrible matchup, but he could play a lot of minutes here if he can avoid the foul trouble.
Yeah, Tice is a good player.
He's solid.
He's a good player. He's been pretty underrated most of his career. Really, like in the role that he's in now, is particularly good. Like, just be that solid, like backup big, that just plays defense and like grabs rebounds, doesn't hurt you anywhere. Yeah. Any other injury news you want to tackle before we get out of here?
No, I think we did it all. Yeah, we'll see what's up with any late stuff that comes along. But yeah, there could be some funny business coming. Maybe Giannis is probable.
Yeah,
for whatever that's
those
worth.
probable tags have been questionable sometimes. So we'll see.
I'm on the You Better You Bet show yesterday. I'm doing all the content today.
Yeah. Mike will be there. Mike will also be behind the paywall with myself at 5 o'clock Eastern today at Establish the Run, doing the Establish Show episode. If you haven't been with us all season long, I'm sorry. You've missed out on quite a bunch of fun. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel here. That is free. You can freeload here. We'll just take your clicks. Take all of the clicks. You can pay us in dollars or clicks. We'll take clicks here, dollars at the ETR website. If you
or
both. Or both. If you are enjoying the content that we're providing, please continue to press, hit, or smash that like button so we can help circulate this content. Continue to reward us for putting in the hours that we are free of charge for you guys here. So, with that said, enjoy the 7-game slate tonight. We have a monster slate tomorrow. You can also catch more content from Mike and myself in front of paywalls tonight with the Underdog folks. Check out Underdog Fantasy _ NBA account. They'll be tweeting out links and information to join us and follow us as we draft a playoff best ball team. Myself, Mike Gallagher, Justin Fan, Peter Jennings, Peter Overzet, the whole crew. I think Wob is in there too. So it should be fun tonight. Follow us along there while you're sweating the games. Hang out with us. We'll be talking hoops. All right. Enjoy the games tonight. We'll catch you tomorrow with Justin Fan from Underdog Fantasy for the last big Friday show of the regular season. We look forward to it. We'll see you there. Take care, everybody.